In this video, we're going to focus on how we can sort a stack bar. So you can see here, sorting a normal bar chart is quite easy because you only have one value to compare with all the others here. But now here we have two data sets, or maybe you have three data sets, and you want to compare them all together. And how can you then sort them properly? Well, this will be a challenging video, and we're going to explore how we can sort them from a descending order. In this video, we're going to explore one of the viewers' questions, which is how to sort a stacked bar chart from high to low in Chartjs. So I had one video where I covered specifically how to sort a bar chart. However, now we have a new structure, which is a stacked bar chart, which is quite more challenging. So this question came from one of my other videos about how to create a stacked bar chart in Chartjs. And here, Datu Prasant, a special thank you to Datu for asking the question. He had basically a question which consists of three questions in one. Number one, basically this was the part here. I've been trying to sort the stacks inside the bar chart in descending order, but it's not working for me, and even each stack inside the bar also appearing in a sorted visual manner. So please make a video on this. So let me explain the breakdown of this video. So basically it's this here. So you have three parts. Number one, we're going to make sure, and this will be eventually three different videos, and I already covered one of the videos. But one of the questions is this: how to sort the stack bars, or the stack bar chart, from high to low. We're assuming that we're looking at every stack bar. Let's say we have 5 stack bars, and we want to sort them from high to low. But then that entire set should individually also be sorted from high to low. And of course, the tooltip needs to be sorted matching from high to low. So I already did the tooltip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start from scratch again, but specifically on the stack bar. So let's start and explore how to do this, because this will be a quite long video and it's quite challenging as well. However, just follow along, you'll be able to do it as well. First things first, what I want you to do is I want you to go to my website, chartjs3.com, and you go to the Getting Started section. In here, you can see a video, but basically this is the code I want to grab. This is my default code. And this code is also being explained in this video how this is being set up and breakdown. So in case you need to know how, watch that video as well. So in here, we have this now, and if I say copy this, I'll just cut out this title and put it in here. So I know which video this title should contain. Save that here and refresh. Alright. So now we have our bar chart here. So that's basic. Alright. What we want to do now is the following. I want to create another data set here. So let's assume we have 2 data sets. I'm going to cut them out here, put it in here, and I'll just give this some random numbers. Let's say this will be 10, this will be 4, this will be 7. This will be 10 as well, and this will be 12, and this one will be 13. Alright? Then what I want to do is I want to give it some random colors as well here. So in this case, I will just only focus on a single color. Let's grab the blue color here. That will be fine. Just put it in here, or maybe it's probably better eventually to have colors, I realize. Well, what we can do is later on, I'll just make some colors here. I figure out that we should have a set of colors so we can easily spot the difference later on. So I'm just going to make up some colors here. Green, blue, black, brown, and then in total we need 7 different colors. So we say brown, purple, and finally pink. I guess we didn't even have that one. Alright, so we have now different colors here. Perfect. We can just move all the space here, it doesn't matter. Copy this and do exactly the same here. Nothing fancy, and remove these. Well, you can leave it there, doesn't matter. Move it or leave it. Oh, alright, let's see what's going on. Of course, double comma, not allowed. Refresh here. Alright, so now we have this bar chart here, and you can see we have all of them in different heights and width. And what we want to do is eventually we want to stack them now. Let's stack these. So we go here on the X, we say here, on this scale here, we say stacked equals true as a boolean, comma here, and then we also say here stacked true, comma. Save, refresh. There we are. So now we have it stacked, and you can already see which one is supposed to be first. We figure out that this one needs to be first, and this one will be second, and afterwards it will be probably orange or this set, etc., etc. Alright. So now we have this here. What I need to do eventually with this, because what we have here is just all these values here. But these need to be all constants. They need to be separate from this here. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to create multiple constants, and just for the sake of simplicity, I'll just grab the same names here. So I say labels, well, we need to make a constant first, labels equals this. Alright, next we have here another constant, and that will be the data. So I'll call this data, well, we can call it data point. Let's say data point equals the data point here. This should be semicolon, and then we have another one here which would be the background color. So we say const background color equals this background color here. We grab all of these, let's put them all beside each other so that looks slightly more appealing and more organized. Alright, so and then we have this, the background color, and finally is the border color, exactly the same, almost similar methodology. I'll just copy this, equal const. The only difference with the border color and the background color was that the border color is value 1, while the border color, or while the background color has a 0.2 transparency level. Alright, so I'm just going to grab this, just put in here 1. This is just a bit more faster for me to do. Alright, so we've got everything here. So once we have this, I will need to do exactly the same for the second data set here. To do this, I'll just grab these here, and here I'll just say data point 2, border color 2, and border color 2 and background color 2. Should we have any labels? If ever we would have any labels, we can put it in here. I'll just say labels 2, but we probably will not be using it because the labels will be in here. So now what I will do is, for just quickly, I'll just put it in here to see if it all works. Which of course it will, but just to make sure. So here the data point, comma, and then here this would be the background color. I'm going to grab this one here, and the border color, which will be this name here with the letter C. Apparently we have the same caps lock, so make sure you're consistent. Border width, that's fine, I don't mind that one. So data point, let me double check, did I put in any capitalized letters? No, it's all same. Here, then I'll just copy this because probably this is just only with number 2. So there's no real difference. So this is number 2. Border color here, number 2 as well. Alright, so we got this, save this, refresh. Alright, everything works except that we have here, did I copy that? Oh, I realized that I didn't do that one. Let me just quickly do this first. Sorry about that. Alright, so we've done that here. Now put it all back. Here we are. There we are. Save, refresh. Alright, so everything is correct, oh, except for the random numbers. Alright, I'll just make in here some numbers. 3, 7, let's make this 13, 9, 8, and well, we'll make this 13 as well. Save that again. There we are. So we have all these numbers here. We're back to our default number. So sorry about that. So, but we fixed that now. Here, number of sales. I'll just call this sales. We have all differences. Beautiful. 2 items here. Nicely. Nice. All right. Now what we want to do is I want to focus really on the most important part, which is eventually the structure of it. So what we need to do is basically these variables here later on will be disappearing. Will be removed because we need to do the following. So let's really think, what do we need to do? How do we compare if we have these kind of data sets? Because there's 2 ways to filter it. The first thing would be filtering on, just by default here is the total value here. But to do this, we need to calculate them. We need to plus this and plus that. And then once we know that, we can compare which one would be the highest value, and then we sort them out correctly. But for that, we also need to have a data pair, meaning a key value pair. That's the official term, the key value pair, meaning if we have this number, let's say here the green is number 3, we need to make sure that we grab the color, the background color, and any of the label text matching with that green. That's very, very important. So here you can see here this, and I guess that this label text should be just matching this. Would be green text, blue text, etc., etc. So we need to build them all together, sort them all together, then compare them on the sum value of these two values, whatever that is. For example, 12 plus 3 is 15. You need to compare them all. What is the total value of them all together? So let's start and do the basics first. So the first thing what I want to do here is to create a sum, because that's our starting point here. Sum them together. And to do this, we say here constant, and I will just say sum data points, which is very straightforward, an array. But this array will just grab these two together and we will push it. So we say here for loop, and in this for loop, I'll say I equals 0, and then we're going to loop through this. So what we need to do is we need to loop it through the data length, or basically the data point length. We know that both of them are identical, as you can see here. So we expect both have the same values here. So I can just say here this dot length to make sure that this is a dynamic value. If ever we add up new values, it will automatically calculate as well. And we say here we keep on looping the I value as long as I, or the iteration, and iteration means repeating yourself multiple times. So we repeat ourselves multiple times based on as long as the I is lower than whatever we have here. So right now we have here 6. That would mean that this will at least repeat 6 times until this here. And if this would be, if we add up more dynamically, it will loop it multiple times based on that. All right. So then we say is the I will increment, so I plus plus. So in here, what we're going to do is basically this here. Because we have this one here, this array we're going to add up this, so we're going to sum this, and then push it in this blank array. Because that's the only way how we can compare it. So what we're going to do here is quite simple, the following. We're going to say here, sum data points dot push, which is a array function to push in here. And what are we going to push in here? Very straightforward. Data point number 1 or 0, basically the index here, plus data point 2 index number. Very straightforward here. And once we did this, then what we want to do eventually here is just something else, and that is the console.log. We're going to show our array. Is our array working as expected? Save this, refresh. Nothing happens here, but if we open up our console log, we'll be able to find a new array that we are showing. And you can see here now what we have. 15, which is correct. 12 plus 3 is 15. And this one will be 26, which is also correct. 19 plus 7 is 76. This is 16. And this is 14. And this is here 10. And then there should be one more here. Let's see, where are you hidden? There you are. 16 as well. So we have these numbers here. So we're going to filter out them. What we have to do as well, because we have double numbers here, 16, these needs to be also, that's why we're going to use a key value pair, meaning that make sure that these, even if they have the same values here, 16 and 16, their key value pair is different, meaning they have a different color, different border lines, colors, different text or labels. This is essential. If you don't do this, you will get a mistake afterwards, because it cannot filter out the differences if you just have 16 and 16. It doesn't know the difference. So that's why we have the key value pair. So what we're going to do now is we're going to convert that basically. So we're going to convert the object match the key value pair. And what we're going to do is basically we're going to do it twice. First we have the first one. The first one will be for this set here. And the second will be for the other set here. So we have to do this twice. And I'm sure that there can be a probably more effective way. I didn't refactor it, and I'll be investing more time in refactoring very soon, so we can make our code far more professional looking. However, this is the most important. At least the step breakdown is easy to follow. So what we're going to do here is the following. We're going to say here let. We're going to say merge. And why we're going to use let and not the constant? Because here we are going to loop through it, and there is going to have some values. Basically here is a loop as well. This could be let. It should not be constant because the constant should be always one single value. This will be changing consistently and that's not allowed. So that's why here as well as here it's the let value. So we say here let merge, and the merge is basically the key value pair, meaning this, the 12 is matching with this color here. It's also matching with this border color here and matching with the text here above, sorry, the label here. So these are all matching. So this is why we're using the key value pair. If you don't do it, you will get an issue later on. So avoid that one. Then we say here, we can say border color dot map. And basically what we're doing with map is basically an array itself or a function in the array. We'll loop through, we'll say here the border, comma, I. So we will loop through this in itself, which is quite nice. It's a very useful function as well here. And what we're going to do is we're going to loop through this, and the border, we can use it any basically term, but we're just calling here the border here. So we have border color here. So we say border, all right. And then what we say here, because this is just the amount of values we have in the array as well. You can see here just 6 values. You can use any value you want here, it doesn't matter. So then we're going here back, sorry. And then here we say the following. We want to return because we want to create basically the object. So I'm going to make this here. No, this could be semicolon, but I guess that here we're missing something else. Alright, that's alright. We will figure that out later on. Then we say here the following. Return. And in this return, we will do the following, which is the where are we? Sorry. Here the border. And then we say border. And this border will be, because we're making here the object, so we say border color, and then I. And the I is basically the loop. So we've got that one. And once we have this, we do exactly the same. Oh, and then I realize here in the border I, this must be a arrow function here. So yes, so we say we loop through this, and this is the function. This is basically a shortcut for function. This is the function because the map is a function. You need to make it in a function here. So make sure you have this one, or else you get the error that I had here. I was thinking, what's the issue? But that's the issue. All right. So once we have that, comma. Very important here because we are creating here basically a JSON. Double quotations in here. No single quotation, but double quotation. So we have this. Now we have the next one. We say here the background. And the background value is background, and this background will grab, what do you think? Well, the background color. So this border, and this would be then changed to background color. And the background color here I'm referring to is just this one here above. Background color. Same writing, same capital C. So border color was here, same capital C. Then we have the next one. All right. So next. So this is basically when we talk about key value pair. This is the key. This is the value. Because we want to refer later on with this. Then we say your comma, and then what we have more is basically we have the data point, we have the label, and we have the sum value, which is the one we have here. It's the reason why we create this first. All right. So then here we say data point. Make sure this is double quotation, yes. And then we say here data point. This is again I, comma. Then we have the next one, which would be the label. No, let's see here labels of a label. Double quotation. And then we say here the value of it. What is the value? We say here labels. All right. We just grab this just to be sure that we don't have any mistakes. I. Once we have this final one, comma, then we say here, and here this can be any name you want, and these as well. We can give it any name you want. I'm giving it a name that is very descriptive, so I understand exactly what I'm referring to. So in this case, I would say here, the sum data point probably could be a good term, which is called sum data points, because it's the sum data points, both of them. I'll just use the same term here, including the letter D here, capitalize D. You can do anything you want. So sum data points will be equal to sum data point array I. All right. Once we have this, curly braces here. Let's see if this one is on here. All right, there we are. So then we have this. Then we're done here. So if you understand that we did this for the merge one, which is a item here, we need to do now exactly the same for another one. So create a new array, but basically the merge array, you can see that here. Let's do further console log and show the merged. I'm going to remove this now because this sum data point is eventually this one here. You will see it nicely in the object itself. Save that, refresh. Now if I open up here, we have here number 5, but you can see a sum data point. The last one is 16. This is correct because 16 is here, 3 plus 6. The purple, basically this one here, is value 10, is it correct? 2 plus 8. Alright, you can see this is the data point here. So it understands that this 16 is matched with this colors here and these values and this orange here, I guess. You can see here the label is orange. And we can do it here exactly the same here. However, this is just only one value. So what about the other one? Well, this is the reason why we need to make two value, basically, what is it? Two objects. This is the key value pair, sorry. So here we do exactly the same, but I'm going to give this a name of merge number 2. But the data point here is the most important one that we have, or this sum data point, because this one will eventually connect each other, match each other with each other, or match them with each other when we are going to sort them out. So we say in here the following. We have the merge 2, alright. Then what we need to grab is basically the same items. And then here, labels 2. We're going to search here, where is labels 2, alright. Basically just put in a 2 here. This is color 2. Background color 2 is here. And then we have the sum data points. Sum data points is... Oh, sum data points we don't have to adjust, by the way. Why we don't need to adjust? Because we only have one sum data point. We don't have two sum data points here. And then I notice I am slightly mistaken on this one. Let me just move this down. Sorry about that. This is just to ensure we're not destroying the codes here. Because I guess I'm not paying attention. This is quite tough one as well. So we're going to remove that one. We have this all. This is very important. This is the part 2, the key value, then number 2, data point number 2. Do we have that here? Data point number 2, or labels number 2, sum data point. We leave that one as it is. So if we have this, all I want to do now is the following here. Console log, merge number 2, save that. And here, merge has already been identified and declared. Alright. Alright, because here we didn't put number 2 as well. Merge number 2, make sure you correct that. Merge number 2 here. Everything else, border color, map. We can do your border color number 2 as well. Everything should be matching with this set here below. So save all of this, refresh. We should have now the second value, which get green, blue, black, brown, purple, and pink, which is correct. All of these colors are matching here. This including the matching value, except for the sum data point, it's always the same value. Alright, so now we have these two items. So what we need to do now is basically sort them out. But how we sort them out is based on the this one here, the sum data points. Because we sort this, these will be eventually worked on it. So let's start and look at how we're going to do this, just to be clear. So we're going to sort them. But what we need to do, I realize here, we need to not only sort out this one, we have to sort out as well the points itself. Alright, so let me rephrase that because I realize that what I'm saying is I'm rambling on and without clearly explaining it. So what I was referring to is this. Alright, so we have our sum data points. And this is what we're doing here basically. We have this sum data point and this helps us to control the structure of our data set. So let's put it in here. So if I echo out here the merge value item here, let's show this one here first. All right, so we have these arrays and then we get also specifically these data sum points. And what we're going to do with the data sum points, or basically with this, if we're going to sort them based on the data sum points, we will know what is matching with it. Meaning, for example, here we know this blue, this data set here, both of them have the same sum value. This is the reason why we did it here only once. The sum data point is not, we don't have to separate two of them. We both have the same value. So the first one value here, both green and red, has the value of 15. So what it really means is we're going to sum this and then we sort them. And because both of them have the same value, it will sort them neatly next to each other. It will understand exactly the matching values. So this is very important. So I hope this makes it clear. If not, I will show you right now what we're doing. Because basically what we're going to do now will be very clear on what are we going to do or why I'm doing this. So we say here the following. We're going to sort the sum data points. Yes. And then we're going to sort it for the first one, but we're also going to sort them for the second one. We do exactly the same as previously, that we have to do it twice. Everything what we do, we need to do twice. So we're going to say here, constant. And this constant will be the data sort. I'll give it the name data sort. And what is this really is, we will just call it the merge.sort. Then here, we're going to give it the sort function array. So we say this function, because this will be from, repeating here, high to low. We have to, that means descending. All right. So we're going to do descending. So that's what we're going to do here. So we will say here the following. We can do here B, comma A. That doesn't matter really so much, one or the other. And in here, we're going to say return A. I guess if we will do this A, comma B, then it will be most logically that we say here we get the highest value, which is this value, sum data points minus A dot sum data points, meaning we get the highest value and we want to deduct it from the lowest value. So descending. If you want to do an ascending, A first, B afterwards. Very straightforward. All right. Now, sure, make sure that this is consistent. If not, you have to do here B and then here A. But this is more logical for me. So we have this here. So the moment we do this, we're going to say here now, console the data sort. I'm going to remove the merge. We save this. We console this. Oh, syntax error. Let's see where it happened. Number 53. All right, we have a problem here. This should not be a comma. I guess it should be like that. Here we are. All right, so if we merge this, let's look at what's the value here. You can see blue is the highest value, will be now shown first because it's being sorted here on a descending value. So if I do ascending, let me show you so you will have understanding how you can do both options. Then the lowest value should be first, which is purple. Yes, and the lowest value of the sum is also because we sorted on this specific value. So purple is the lowest one, which is correct. So if we do now the other one, you will see that the other one will have the value of 8, and that's it. But in total, they have a value of 10. All right. Very important here. I hope this makes sense. Go back here. So I'm going to copy this now. We just do exactly the same here. But now, let's sort data point 2. I'll just remove all of this. Data point 2, and then we say here sort 2, then merge. Which number will it be? Well, let's look here. We had here the let merge 2, and this was the let merge 1, or let merge. So you can see here this is matching here. So let's grab this one, merge number 2, put it in here, and then we will say here exactly saying the data points A and B will be deducted from each other. We don't adjust this because we already get the merge part here. So it grabs here all of this here, and you get data point here. You can see this is the data point. It grabs. So you don't need to put in here number 2. This is the array value, but this is what we call the key. The key value pair. This is the key. This is the value, and we're grabbing here the key, and that's the key here. All right. Same here. So that's why no different numbers. Consistency. All right. So once we have this, all right. The next thing what we need to do is we need to now. Well, we can console them. Let's show that. Console.log, just to ensure we get this one here, and you will see that these will be nicely match up with each other if we do one and or data sort and data sort number 2. Save this, refresh. So we can see here now the first one would be the blue value, which is number 19. All right. So we expect here, the next one, in the second array, it should be this blue value number 7. As you can see, blue value number 7 in some data set of data points 26. Alright, so this already shows that we are on the right track. Now we're basically on the very last part of it, which is where we're going to create constants to reassign the values. Alright, so in here, basically we're going to create 8 constants. We have one constant here for the background color of the first data set, and after we have to later on the constant for the second data set, exactly the same. So we say BC so background color, so BGC, alright, background color. This is a blank array. And then we have the next one, another const. So this will be not background color, but border color. So BC for border color. Then we have the next one, what will be this? This can be the data point, and we can just use DB for data point. I'm just giving shortcuts right now, just for simplicity's sake. Probably you should have here more descriptive, would be probably better. And then here, label. Maybe sorted label 1, sorted background color 1, etc., etc. Alright. So once we have this, exactly the same, but then number 2. Why number 2? For the second data sort. Data sort 2. Alright. So we have these. And now what we want to do here is a for loop. And in this for loop, we're going to push all of these new data in all of these items, and then these will be reassigned here. Very important here. Alright, so we say here I equals 0, and then we say here we iterate this as long as, and then we can say here data sort the length, as long as the length of or as long as I, or the loop, the iteration is smaller than the data sort length, which means here should be 7 points. Remember, we just all get it from here up. So that's what we're doing. Alright, then in here, I++, we keep on doing incremental, increase it incrementally with 1 as long as this statement is true. So now what we do is, basically here, we're going to push all the values. So we say bgc.push, push this, push it in the array. What are we going to push in the array? Well, the data sort that we have organized here before, which eventually is, so the data sort, and then we get the name of the value pair. That's what we want, consistently. So we say data sort. Here, we'll push this, and this was the background color. So we say here, iteration value, or the index number, dot, background color. Is it with a capitalized C? Well, let's confirm that. We have here, I guess it's not even background color, it's just background. This is the value, the key value that we're going to grab. So in here, where are we? Sorry, this part. This with the background color, so we say here background. So once we have this, next one, almost similar, but then border, BC. BC, push, data sort. What is it? Border color, or is it border? That's the border. Alright, grab here the value pair, and then next one will be probably the data point dot push. Here, oh, what happened there? That's it. Then we say data sort, still from the first data, I dot, and if I'm not mistaken, data point or data points, it is here because we want to merge this data point. Alright. Final value pair, I'll just copy that. You can probably guess it now. This data sort, this should be label or labels. Confirm that by checking here. It's label. Alright. So here's my question. Do you need the sum data point now? What do you think? Well, let me tell you the answer. If you say no, you're correct. And the reason why is we're going to put all of these in the chart. So we don't need anymore this value to be paired because we have the total. The total sum is basically these two bar segments together. So it would be redundant to put it in there as well. Alright. So we have this one now. That looks very nice. So now the next part. So how we do the next one, we can do here exactly the same. Data sort 2. We could even, I figured out that maybe you can even cut it out. and do it even in here. But that's alright for now. Later on, I can still refactor it later on. All we're going to do here is everything is 2. Why? Everything here. And then here, we get data sort 2. But since these are both same length, it would not even matter. And this should be data sort all number 2. Because why this one? You want to get now the values from this merge one here. And the reason we get it from data sort and not from merge 2, maybe you wonder why we do this, because the merge one has this data point of the sum data point organized, sorted in order from high to low. So it just gets all of this information, but sorted with all the key value pairs together. That's why we're doing it from here. And probably, I guess we could even refactor it like this, but that's alright for now. I just want to double check that first, and then later on we can just refactor it at the very end. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab now the, we can get here the data point, number 2. We can get here also data point number 0, or db, just only. Console log, here, refresh, everything works. We can get all the values. Number 7, there you are. You can see it's already correct. Number 7 is the second value here. That's dark blue, and the light blue is 19. And then what we have, what will be the next one? Will be this. Will be the next in line. Will be the highest value, which is 3 and 13. And I guess that could be this one as well. So it's one or the other. It doesn't matter. But we can see that we're going to sort them now, and then the values are definitely looking as how we want them. So now we're going to just reassign all of these values in here. Data point will be db. This would be db number 2. Then we have the BCG, which is the background color. Well, let's get background color number 2, and this will be background color. This would be border color, so I will say BC. Border color, am I correct? Yes, that's it. And then here, final one would be the label. In this case, label would not matter much. You can see here, and the reason why, unless you want to have 2 times the labels, but in this case, I'll just leave it here. Label could be labels from very beginning, or we can just make this one. It does not matter. I will not spend any time on that for now. Refresh, and now you can see we have this nicely sorted out here, beautifully. And all of these items are now nicely sorted. Of course, the tooltip has not been sorted. We can still do that one, and I have another video about this, but we can still do that. What I want to do here is just to check, will this work here if I refactor it like this? Save that, refresh. There you are, that works as well. Alright, just as a bonus, we could sort this out as well from high to low, or from anything as well, because right now it is just set on a default version. So what we can do here is quickly, we're going to put in here, in the options here, we're going to put in here, we can just do it here, we can just say plugins, just to make it quickly, I'll say tooltip here, and in the tooltip, let's check what we need. So basically the item here is called the item sort. Here the function, and this here basically sorts the item as well. You can say b, comma a, just go from descending value from the highest to lowest, and we want to return b dot raw minus a dot raw. If you want to know why, I have a video about this. I'll show it you in the you will see it here upcoming in the corner. That's basically part 1. But then we have that unexpected identifier. That is correct. No comma here. Save that. Refresh. Now you can see here it's being sorted up from high to low, no matter what happens. The smallest value, the smallest value is from low to high. Let's do this. Oh, okay, this explains it. We should have like this, and B, then we say here B raw. Alright, high to low, there you are. You can see now the highest value on top by default. So this is basically part 2, where we sort the bar, basically the stack bar chart itself. But of course the final one would be to sort the item individually here, and that's a quite challenging one because you're breaking an arrays. But there will be a specific video for that as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you enjoy this video, you probably will enjoy this one as well. And if you're interested in Chartjs, check out in the description box the link directing to my Chartjs course, where you can learn everything about Chartjs. And finally, of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel.